Cartelians, what's up? Cartel from Hell back again with another review. This time it's going to be of the Sideshow Collectibles Joker ARKHAM Asylum Premium Format Statue Exclusive. And I've already done a review of this Batman from the ARKHAM Asylum line. They obviously are companion pieces. They're made to display with each other. So if you guys are looking for the review of this statue, go ahead and check it out as soon as this video is done. I've also done 4K close-ups on it, and I believe I've done an unboxing too. So go ahead and check all those videos out if you guys are really interested in this figure. This is pretty much just going to be the review for the Joker. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off. Alright, so I've already done an unboxing on this Joker statue about a month ago. So if you guys are looking for the unboxing on that, if you guys are looking for the way to assemble it and all that stuff, go ahead and check out that video as well. So first of all, I'll have to say that I really like how these statues are companion pieces. I really like companion statues in general. It's really nice to be able to have your statue pair up with another statue. It just kind of tells a story, ties it all in, and it's really something different because even though you'll have a lot of pieces in a line, there's not too many companion pieces. There are a couple of them, but it's really nice to have them. I like them. I think it's smart of companies to do it just because if you only have one of the statues from the set, it kind of makes you feel like you need to get the other one, and pretty much you do. So it's really smart for companies to do it, to tell you the truth. But at the same time, even though it's good for the company, it's good for the collector because it ties it all in. I really like that. So that being said, even though these are companion pieces, one thing that I wish they would have done differently about them being companion pieces is this ARKHAM Asylum logo that they have on their bases. I think it's really nice the way they look, but I just wish that when they are standing like this with each other, that the logo would actually be facing in the front. Because even if you were just to display them solo, and I know that's the reason why they put the logos over here, because they wanted to think about when they're solo. But even if you were to have the logo over here when it's solo, it would still look good. And that's pretty much how you're going to display it anyways. I mean, this is the view you want to see, right? So why not have the logos on this part of the base and this logo on this part of the base? Yeah, you can still read them from this angle, right in front of it, but it would just look a little nicer if the logo was more centered towards the diorama or the companion display of these pieces. So that's one thing I kind of wish they would have done a little differently. At the same time, it doesn't kill it for me. It is just a logo. It's not really a big deal, but just one little tweak I wouldn't have minded. Now, I really love how tall this Joker is. He's actually right up there with Batman. Really skinny, really lanky, very stylized towards the game. It's not going to be for everybody. I dig it, man. I think it looks really cool. It's something different. It's very niche, look for Joker. I'm not going to lie. I do like Joker to be a little bit more like the regular Joker in the comics and stuff like that, but still cool. It's cool to have a different version of a character, not to just have the same version over and over and over and over. So I can appreciate that this is a different version of Joker. The mixed media is done really nice on this piece. I really do like it, but at the same time it's a little weird because I've never had this type of mixed media that has a really weird feel to it. It's like it's almost sticky. It's like moist. It feels like it's been soaked in something. I don't know. It feels like grimy, if that's a word I would give it. It feels like really weird. I've never had a PF that had that type of feel to it. I don't know what type of material it is. I don't think anything's wrong with it. It's just what they went with. I really do like how they stitched in a a lot of faux leather in his jacket. It's really nice. And it has a really good feel to it too, the faux leather. Obviously it's not real leather, but it feels like leather. It looks like leather, so they've done a really good job with it. Just like always with Sideshow, you guys, the stitches are really good. They always do a very good job with their cut and sew. Really impressed with all the different stitches. It's very nice. You know, one thing that Sideshow's really good at is making it look like it's scale to the actual statue itself. Like, you know, they have the stitches, and instead of having really big stitches, they try their hardest to scale it down and make it look like the stitches are actually at the correct scale to the piece itself. They've also put in like a faux leather patch on his pants. It's really very well done, actually. Really like it. It's a really nice piece, you guys. Now, another thing that I would have tweaked a little bit is his actual ruffles on his cuffs. These actual ruffles, compared to the video game, look a little bit over exaggerated. Like in the video game, they're kind of tucked in a little more and then recessed more into his sleeve. You know, there might have been a couple shots where it was out as much as these. I don't really know. I haven't went back and tried to look at all the different cut scenes. I'm not going to do that to myself. But it does look like it's a little over exaggerated, and I would have liked to have them recessed into his actual sleeves, just a tad, just a touch, and you know, that's not too big of a deal. But one thing I have noticed is that his arms are just a really plain gray color. It almost makes, on his wrist right here, it almost makes the statue look, I would say, unfinished. And that's probably going to bother a couple collectors. It's not probably going to bother everybody. It doesn't really bother me, but I would have liked to see, I don't know, just maybe it's just like a little bit more texture or something like that with his skin. It looks like an unfinished piece of polystone. So I wish that they could have done something a little differently there. But for the most part, you know, that's pretty much the only thing I would tweak. So right now I'm just letting you guys know what I would like to have seen done differently. There's going to be a lot of other things in this statue that I think are really great. So yeah, pretty much just that logo. I would have liked to be seen swapped over a little bit here. And his wrists just feel a little unfinished. And I would definitely have to say his mouth. I really love the way it's sculpted. I think the colors are done really good. It's just that I wish that they would have put in a little bit of gloss inside of his mouth, because it's all very dry inside there. And if it would have been glossy in the mouth, you know, it would have just looked more lifelike, more realistic, more alive. And I really wish that they would have just packed in a lot of gloss in there, because they've done it on his eyes. All they had to do was that right as soon as they were done packing in the gloss on his eyes, they could have just went straight to his mouth, you know, wetted his, you know, around his teeth and his gums and his tongue and all that. You know, it would have been easy for them to do. Something very simple to do too. So I really think they should have done that. And another thing, I know this isn't going to bother everybody. It really doesn't bother me, but I think it would have been just a nice little touch to add it for us. It's because we do pay a lot of money for these statues. He has this little pocket watch chain right here. But the only thing is, the chain is just a piece of chain, and it just drapes into his pocket. Now you could pull that out. You can make it a little longer. You can make it a little shorter. Whatever you like to do, however you like to display it. But I wish that they would have added just a little polystone or even plastic pocket watch. You know, just would have been nice. You're not going to see it, but to know that it's in there would just be, you know, a little extra touch of detail that would have been really nice for us to have. Why not, right? It wouldn't have costed that much more. Definitely for the price that we pay, I think it's warranted. You know, especially because I feel like you're not getting too much statue with the price that's asked for this piece. I mean, yeah, it's tall, but at the same time, there's not that much materials except for, you know, the cut and sew on it. So I would have liked to see that. I don't know if anybody's really talking about that, but it's probably because it's not a big deal. It's just a little something I would have liked. But yeah, like I said before, the mixed media is done really nice, you guys, the cut and sew. And I really like how they've added wires into his jacket, because you can go ahead and flare up the tails on his jacket. I think it's really cool. You know, the buttons are all done very nice on the jacket. The pockets are done really nice. I really like all the pinstriping done in the suit. But one thing I would have liked to see too is for them to add some wires on this part of the coat, just so that you can bend it out and flare it out just a little bit more, just to give it a little bit more pizzazz or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Joker, he's very flamboyant. So, you know, just a little bit of, you know, curls in that part of his suit would be cool. I mean, it does it right here. You can mess with it and it does it fine, but to have some more wires on this part of the coat would have been nice, just to give it that extra little touch. But I really like how the whole costume is very weathered, you guys. It has a lot of, you know, like mud splatter and dirt, and just very grimy and greasy feeling. And on his shirt as well, has like a lot of like blood stains. There's also blood splatter and blood stains on his cufflinks as well. Very cool. I'm digging all the blood splatter. You gotta have blood splatter. Why not, right? And it's very subtle. You can't really notice it. I mean, to tell you the truth, I only noticed, you know, like the blood splatter and the weatherization right here. But to actually see on his cufflinks, I had to shine a light on it. And, you know, before I do my reviews, that's what I like to do. I like to put a lot of light on the statue and really look at what has been done, what hasn't been done, so I can give you guys all the complete details about the piece and what to expect about it, instead of just, you know, coming in here and thinking I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So that's how I was able to spot those out. So yeah, there's a lot of weatherization you really can't see to the naked eye with just regular lighting. So I really had to flood it out, you guys, just to get some of the different weatherization. Really love his bow tie and how they were able to hide the seam on his neck. It's really nicely done. It's really cool, man. Really digging that bow tie. It's very nice. And even though that I said that I would have liked to see more gloss on the actual, you know, mouth itself, the paint for the rest of his portrait is extremely nice, you guys. They've done a really good job painting it. They've stayed inside the lines and all the individual strands of his hair really well. I mean, I examined the whole portrait, you know, front and back, you know, up and down, top and bottom, and I couldn't see any flaws in the paint. They've done a really good job. Yeah, some people can say, you know, the skin tone is a little off, and I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I've never really compared it, you know, screen to screen with my with the video game, but at the same time, you know, there could be fluctuations in your brightness setting on your TV and stuff like that. So no two TVs are gonna have the same color for him. So, you know, there's gonna be half of the people out there that say the color's a little off on his face, on his portrait, and there's gonna be other people that are fine with it, other people that are good with it. So I guess it just all really comes down to the source material that Sideshow used. You know, it probably matches their source material 100%. There's also another possibility that it doesn't, but I guess nobody's really gonna know, right? Except for them. But yeah, I think the paint's done really good. The eyes are done really good. I love the sculpt in general. You know, there's not a lot sculpted on this statue, but what is sculpted very strong, especially in the portrait. I think the portraits are great. Um, it's funny, as soon as my lady seen this piece, she was like, "Is that the Jack Nicholson version?" I was like, "No, it's the Arkham Asylum version." But it has a very Nicholson-esque look to him. And I really like how much weatherization and tartar they've packed into his teeth. You know, his teeth are really grimy looking. Dude look like he has you know, some Abraham Lincoln teeth in there, just chunks of wood. You know, really brown and dingy and just gnarly looking teeth. You guys, really gross looking. Got some straight nasty chompers. I really like how they've given him a lot of shadowing around his eyes. Just a lot of expression on the face sculpt, you guys, and they've done a really good job with all the different creases that we all have in our necks and all his veins popping out. Very nicely done. The hair is sculpted really nice too. They've got all the individual strands sculpted in there. Nothing missing. Very beautifully done. And one thing that I have noticed about this this revolver is that it's a little light. It almost feels like the revolver itself is made out of plastic. It's probably not. It's just because it's so light, it feels like that. And I think the reason why they went with that is just so that they wouldn't have had any other leaning issues with the statue, just because he is so long and lanky. So they probably had to make it a little light on this part of the statue. But at the same time, just come on, you guys. Just the feel of plastic just feels cheap. I know it's not just me, right? But I think the look of it is very nice. I just wish that it would have been a little bit heavier, just to give me that premium feel. You know what I'm saying? But the gloves are sculpted really nice. Gloves are sculpted flawlessly. Really love the expression he's doing with his hands. Very cool. All these other buttons that they've stitched into his costume, they're all shrunken down to size too as well. And there's a lot of them, you guys. There really is. Digging it. Really love this flower that he has on his jacket. And his shoes are sculpted really nice too. You know, I love it when they sculpt in all the different stitches on the shoes. You know, because that's not something that too many people are going to notice. But if you are looking for something like that, they haven't forgot it. You know, and it makes it look like it's almost a real shoe. You know, really like when they do that. And they've done that with a lot of statues. I love that. So the base itself, obviously this statue is going to be a little bit easier to display just because, you know, the base is a lot more narrow than the Batman. I mean, this Batman base is just freaking huge. But proportionate to the figure is, you know, what they went for with the bases. And the same as Joker. You know, if Joker would have had a really big base, it might have made it look a little off. So I am happy that they went with a base proportionate to the actual statue itself. You know, they're not 100% the same style base. You know, this one's more of a rock base, and this one's more of a industrial, you know, like type of building, metallic type of base. You know, has all the different nuts and bolts screwed into here. But this one is just pretty much all stone. It's all stonework. And then it has this banister, or like a railing for a staircase, and it wraps all the way around the statue. It gives it almost like a little like catwalk type of feel to it. But yeah, I mean, the base is done really nice, you guys. I really like that they've added a little bit of gloss into the base to give it a wet feel, like it's just got done raining. They've done a really good job with the paint. They've really weatherized the metal a lot. All the metal that is on this base, it's very rusty. And it looks just like rust. They've done a really good job with it. They've even put a little bit of like rust texture from the paint. Did a really good job with it. They know exactly what they're doing when they're weatherizing to make it look like rust. Masters at their craft for sure. Sideshow always does a really good job, you guys. I know we give them a hard time every now and then, and you know, sometimes they deserve it, but for the most part, man, they're straight up masters at their craft, you know. So you have to give respect where respect's due. I'm really happy with this piece. I'm so happy that I didn't pass up on these statues. This statue, I think, is still available on Sideshow's website, and I think that just has to do with, you know, there being so many Batmans available on the market right now. The market's just oversaturated with Batman statues, and to tell you the truth, it's probably going to stay like that, and if anything, it's probably going to get even more saturated as the time goes on, because, you know, Batman's a straight up cash cow, and they're not going to stop now if they can print out as much money as they can with Batman. So I think that's what's going on with this statue right now. But together, I feel like they're just really great companion pieces, and they fit in a bested together, you guys. I didn't think they were going to, but because this statue has a smaller base, it actually works. I don't have them inside a cube, but I do have them on top. But I can tell just from them being on top that they'd be able to fit inside. So that's a really big plus for all you Besta displayers out there. Pretty much, man, that's pretty much it for this statue. I'm sure there's a little things here and there that I missed, but for the most part, I'm sure you guys feel me on this one. And if you guys have this statue coming in, man, go ahead and let me know. I want to see who's going to be getting it. I want to know what you guys think about it. And I really appreciate you guys watching all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to share. And until the next one, catch me if you can. Cartel out. Thanks for watching.